What's up, guys? If you're a dog owner and you've always wanted a dog that listens perfectly in any environment, on or off leash, welcome to the most immersive YouTube series for dog training on YouTube. I'm Austin Laramie, owner of Zero to Hero Dog Training, and we are recording every single day, day 1 to day 46 of her whole training experience, from knowing nothing to being a master. This series is going to teach the everyday dog owner how to successfully live and train their dogs to have the best relationship and give their dog the best life possible. So stay tuned, hit that subscribe button, put on the notification bell. We're posting multiple times a day for the next 46 days. I'll see you there. Woo! Oh. Come on, bye, 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 bye. Woo! Guys, this is Piper's first day with us. This is her first session. This is what her owner's dealing with. She gets a little amped up when she sees dogs. She's boarding with us for 6 weeks. I'm gonna show you guys what 6 weeks can do for your dog. But again, as you see, she's like, sees the other dogs. She's a little amped up. Not too bad. If we were a little closer, it'd be worse. But again, she has no training, no structure or anything. And that's what we're dealing with. In 6 weeks, you're gonna see an update right after this of her being off leash around other dogs, listening perfectly. You'd be amazed at what 6 weeks could do for a dog. So stay tuned for her training process. And we're gonna show you what we do at Zero to Hero Dog Training and what we can do for dogs and owners alike. Thanks. Guys, I'm gonna show you guys one of the first things that I do as soon as I get a new dog boarding for a board and train with me. So this is Piper. She just got dropped off 15 minutes ago. She's with us for 6 weeks. We're gonna get her completely off leash in any environment, and she's going to look great. But right now, as you see, she's all over the place on a leash. She has no obedience training at all. No major issues with her. But she's a little nervous of a dog, just a little bit. And she's very aroused by her surroundings. There's people over there, we're at a park. She's everywhere but me, right? So here's one of the first things that I do when I get a dog, right? I take them, put them on a slip leash, take them to a park, and before I work on anything, and before I say anything to the dog, all I do is I just wait for the dog to kind of relax. So what I'm doing is, when she goes to walk away from me, I'm not saying anything, not correcting her, but I'm just gonna pull her back to me. And I'm gonna let her walk away. I'm gonna pull her back to me. And I'll just sit here for a little bit. But what I'm looking for is I'm looking for her to either sit or stand and look at me, without me having to say anything to her. But she's all, going this way, going that way, sniffing the ground. So I'm just, pulling her back to me whenever she goes away from me. Good, and there we go. That's what we're looking for. Now she looks at me, right? So I'll give her a little praise for that. Good girl. Off. Good. Cool, so there we go, right? That's all I'm looking for. Whenever I get a dog, I just want them to get in a working mentality. So again, she's all over the place on a leash. She's looking at a guy running. I'm gonna pull her back to me, not saying anything to her. And I'll just get her, relaxed, and I'll wait for her to just chill out a little bit. Maybe I'll take a couple steps, and then I'll pull her with me. That's all I do. Pulling her back with me. And again, I just want her to acknowledge me. I just want her to look up at me, maybe even offer me a sit or a down. And if she stops like that, I'll just take a couple steps this way. Pulling her back to me. What's important when I'm doing this, though, is I'm allowing her to leave my side. I'm not holding the leash tight, blocking her from leaving. She's free to leave, and I'm just gonna pull her back. What this does is I'm just showing her to be calm in this environment. Like, I'm not putting too much pressure on her by putting her in a whole crowd of people and dogs right now. Like, there's a whole party of kids and parents and stuff over there, but we're pretty far, like 50 feet away. And again, I'm just teaching her just to literally do nothing right now. That's all I'm doing. And then as she kind of chills out, I'm gonna take a couple steps one direction and then repeat the same process. Good, and now she looks at me. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. Oh, good girl. So that's what we want. And again, I'm gonna do the same thing one more time. just pulling her back to me. And then when she stops like this, I'm taking a couple steps. Pulling her back. Good, there we go. Now she gives us a little look. And right about here, she's pretty chill now. Right about here is when I like to start on leash walking. One of the first things I do with dogs after I do this little thing is I work on leash walking, I work on crate training, and I work on marker training. And if you've seen my leash walking video, it's one of our best videos. You know that in the beginning, I don't use really any treats. I don't say anything at all. I let the leash and my body language do all the work. So now that she's relatively chill and just hanging out here, I'm gonna start walking. And what's going to happen is, the moment she gets ahead of me, I'm either going to turn around to the right, or I'm going to turn around to the left, do a 180. So now I'm gonna start walking. Second she gets ahead of me, check this out. I walk to the right, and I turn around. Walk to the right, I turn around. I go to the left, cut her off and turn around. Go to the left, turn around. Go to the left, turn around. You see how she looks at me there? This starts to give her information. She's going to start looking up at me more. And when you're doing this, when you start introducing this to your dogs, don't talk to your dog at all. Don't say anything. The leash is doing all the work here. And I'm also not tight on the leash. I'm not letting her get to the point to where she's like this and now she's pulling. Before it gets here, I'm turning either left or right. I'm not letting it get to here and then I turn. I don't want to pull her when I turn. I want her to run into the leash and go bam. And she's gonna go, oh, right? And then she's gonna turn around and go, man, I better catch his turn next time. And then as she starts to get a little more relaxed and chill and engaging with me, then I'm gonna start praising her for doing good. I'm gonna start rewarding her through the process of this week. But you see that? She doesn't catch it, she gets clotheslined. But I want you guys, if you start this with your dogs, if your dog is not good on a leash, good girl. I want you guys to practice saying nothing to your dog and just walking with your dog and not letting the leash get tight. It has to be loose the whole time. But if you watch her head, she starts to look at you more, or she starts to look at me more. Like right there, she's looking at me. Good girl. So now she's engaged a little bit with me. You don't need any treats for this right now. Like I do use some food, but the first few sessions I don't say anything. I don't use any food. I will praise the dog if they look at me a little bit, you know, that's different. But this is what my first sessions look like with my dogs. This is all I do for about 15 minutes. And then I'll just stop and I'll chill a little bit. Good girl. And I'll continue walking. Good girl. So there she was looking at me, so I'm praising her for that. But again, you notice I'm not saying her name. I'm not saying, hey girl, hey. I'm saying nothing. I'm letting the leash do the work, but I'm also not walking like this. You can't walk your dogs like this. I let it be loose. She gets ahead of me. It's loose. Bam. She gets hit by the leash, right? And then I just start walking the other way. I want you guys to walk as if you don't even have a dog with you. Don't look for your dog. Don't look at your dog. Don't do anything. Just walk. Just literally walk. Shoulders up, relaxed. I'm not like this. I'm not tense. You just walk, and now I turn. I'm not looking back for her, right? Good girl. Some rules that I like to abide by is, I don't want my dog sniffing. I don't want my dogs going to the bathroom. And I don't want my dogs pulling when we're on the leash. And of course, that's everything that makes a dog. So you got to give them a release command and tell them it's okay to do that stuff. Like I'll let my dog sniff, just when we're walking. Just live by my side, hang out with me. That's it. That's all I ask. So if she starts to sniff, all I do is I interrupt it by just turning into her. I'm not correcting her for it. I'm not doing none of that. This is our first session. I don't want her first session with me to just be like authoritarian boot camp where I'm just like, don't do that, right? I want her to be like, dude, you're awesome. So I keep it very simple. And I'm going to play with her a lot through this whole training process. But what you'll find is you'll start to see when I start to do my right turn, she's going to start catching it and following me eventually. Maybe not in this session, maybe not in the next one, but you'll start to see her catch those turns. And then that's when I start praising her, rewarding her, doing all sorts of stuff. But you want to do both turns. You want to turn into her and you want to turn away from her. So this isn't really a leash walking video, but I have a good video on that. But this is more of just like, what do I as a dog trainer do on day one with the dogs that I get? And this is it, guys. I take the dog out to a park and I just literally hang out with them. Structured though. So again, I'm just gonna chill here a little bit. I'm gonna allow her to roam a little bit and she'll just check in with me. Good girl. Praise her for that. She comes over to me, I'll love her up a little bit. Good job. And then I'll just take a couple steps one direction and she starts to follow me. Good girl. Start to get ahead of me. Boom. I swing my leg over her and I turn this way. I just walk any direction. Now I'm just gonna chill, hang out a little bit, not saying anything to her. But I'll just sit here and wait for her to engage with me and wait for her to look at me and I'll praise her for it. I'm not gonna use the leash, not gonna say her name. I'm just gonna wait. Good girl, and there you go. All right, she looked at me, praise her for that. Good job, I keep walking. Yeah, she almost caught that turn there. That was good. Good girl. Yeah, good girl. Good girl. Hey guys, that's really it. That's what I do on my first session with a dog, is I just take them to the park, just do this stuff. Keep it easy. She's pretty nervous, but if I can get her to play, ideally I'd have a tug toy. I'd play with her a little bit. She didn't want to play, so I didn't even bring the toy. She's just very aroused by everything. Again, she doesn't have any major issues. She's just, no structure or anything, so she needs to calm down in public and all that. But yeah, I just want to start building the relationship up. You can't build a relationship on just negative experiences all the time, where if I start with her on day one just correcting her for everything, it's not gonna, it's not gonna be good. She's gonna come and go, why did I get dropped off at this terrible place? I want her to go, dude, this place is awesome. And of course she's gonna get some corrections, but like, you know, the fun should oversee the correction. She should enjoy the whole process, you know. So that's all I'm doing. And she's looking over there, so I might just start walking, right? She's looking at the kids, I'm gonna walk this way. Just get her moving, right? I just wanna get her moving. That's all I wanna do. Good girl. Good girl, yeah, good. And then the next thing that I do, after a little bit of leash walking stuff, is I just start, you know, using her name and just praising her when she looks at me for her name. That's going to shadow the recall. And again, I'm not using any food, I'm not using markers right now. I'm just going to say her name, and if she looks at me, I'm just gonna run backwards and praise her, you know, just get her used to just coming to me is super fun. Piper, Piper, yeah, good girl, good girl. That's a good girl. That's all I'm doing. Piper, yeah, good girl. Come on, girl, good. That's a good girl. Yeah, good girl. Right, look how much she lights up from that. Completely different. Now all of a sudden she's in tune with me, right? So again, everything I'm doing on day one is just to start building that relationship. That's all. Piper, yeah, good girl. Come on, girl. Yeah. I'm not giving any commands though. I'm not saying come, not doing any of that. There's nothing she can get wrong here. Piper, yeah, good girl. Oh, come here. That's a good girl. That's a good girl. Come on. Yeah, come on, girl, good. Piper, woo. I'm dropping food, but now she's into it. That's cool though. I'll let her get it, that's fine. You know, a few minutes ago she wouldn't eat. But now she's eating, so, you know, I might even start using some food now, right? Piper, yes, good girl. Yeah, she's not huge. She's not super into the food right now, but she'll eat it a little bit, but you don't need to use it though. Piper, good girl. Yeah, that's a good girl. Good girl. Yeah, cool guys. Thanks for watching the video. So if you get a new dog, that's not a puppy, just a regular dog, you know. Puppies, day one is way different than dogs. Like I'm doing this with dogs, not puppies. But yeah, if you get a new dog and you just don't know what to do, or if you're a dog trainer and you're starting out, just keep it so simple on yourself and the dog. Take your dog out, put a leash on your dog, take them to a somewhat distracting environment, and just work on the relationship. Bring a toy. If they want to play with them. When she's distracted like this, I'm going to walk. And just get your dog used to engaging with you, right? If they're nervous, this does wonders for nervous dogs. It keeps their mind focused. Oh, you got to chew your food, girl. Piper, woo, good girl, yeah. Yeah, so keep it super simple. That's my day one session for dogs, and we're gonna go work on some crate training right after this. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you guys like my videos, if you find anything valuable out of this, I just ask that maybe you just, you know, sub to the channel. If you like more dog videos and you're struggling, give me a comment, let me know what you're struggling with. Be glad to make a video on it. Other than that, guys, thanks for watching.